Hi y'all, this is Larry from Deep South Texas. We have a holiday coming up here and I am going to try to make something special. We're going to make pulled pork. Now, I've done this in the past, haven't been too successful, but I've been talking to an expert and well, I don't have all his directions yet, but I'm excited to get started. So we're going to make this weekend. Now, this pork butt is going to smoke in a smoker for about 12 hours. And I won't be putting that on till tomorrow evening. But before we do that, we need to get the rub ready. And I need a little bit of the rub to put in the brine. So we're going to put that together right now. So for the dry rub, we have 5 tablespoons of white sugar and 5 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of black pepper. We have 1 tablespoon of onion powder and 1 tablespoon of garlic powder and 2 tablespoons of paprika. Okay, let's get that all mixed up. And again, most of this is going in to the dry rub, but we're going to take a 1/4 cup and put it in with the brine as well. Okay, that's fairly well mixed up. Let's take a 1/4 cup out and start on the brine. Now the brine is pretty simple. I'm just using apple cider and we're shooting for about a quart. That'll depend on how much we need to cover that pork butt. So we'll put our spices in the apple cider, get that mixed up, and then let's get our pork butt over here. So this is about 7.5 pounds. And we're going to try to cover this with the brine. So that's going to take 2 quarts of the apple cider to cover it up. Now, we're going to place this in the refrigerator overnight, and tomorrow it goes on the smoker. Now it's probably going to be dark when I get this Boston butt on the smoker, so I thought I'd give you a shot of the smoker in the daylight. It's New Brunswick's offset smoker, and got a charcoal starter here. We're going to get that started up, and we start the fire in this half. And put the pork over here in this part. Now I have one of those cheap metal tin pans in the smoker that I will pour the brine into once we get the pork butt out of the brine, and that'll help to keep the pork moist while it's smoking. Got wood chips, mainly oak, a little bit of hickory, and a little bit of pecan. They're in a bucket getting soaked, so to create the smoke. And then I've got a bag of hardwood lump charcoal that we'll be using for the heat. It's going to be fun. An all-nighter, I think. Well, we'll see you when we get that processed. Well, probably when we go to put the dry rub on the pork. See you then. Well, my coals are nice and hot. Let's get this thing started. Whoop. So we'll let the smoker start getting heated up, and now we're going to go put the dry rub on the pork butt. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to get this pork butt out of the brine, and we're going to let it drain off a little bit. It's been in there overnight. And we get a couple paper towels and just dry that off a little bit. There. That's not bad. Now, I'm going to move it over to another pan and start on the dry rub. So first, we're going to put on a little bit of yellow mustard, just to help the seasoning stick a little bit. I don't know how much I'm using, but we're just going to put on enough to help the seasoning stick. All right, so here's the dry rub we made up yesterday. I'm going to reserve another 1/4 cup, and if we don't need that, then I'm going to throw that in with the brine in the pan in the bottom of the smoker. So we just cover this generously with the dry rub. Looking pretty good. So I still have that 1/4 cup. We're going to collect that brine and put it in the bottom of the smoker in a little pan. So there's that pan in the bottom of the smoker, and now we're just going to pour our brine into that pan. And then add that quarter cup of dry rub back in there. Okay. Okay, here it is. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. There, it's on. Now this is going to stay on for probably at least 13 hours. We got a nice bed of coals in there. I'm going to come back out and throw on some of the wood to smoke it here in just a second. Here is the wood chips that have been soaking. These are mainly oak. There's a little bit of pecan in here, and a little bit of hickory. That should be a good start. Okay, we're going to close you up, and we'll check on you when the smoke starts rolling. And we're off. Well, it's only been a couple minutes, and we have some nice smoke coming out of the chimney here. All right, looking good. Well, our pork butt has been in the smoker for 7 hours. I'm going to take it out now, bring it inside, wrap it in tin foil, and then put it back on the smoker for many, many more hours, maybe 6 more hours. So let's take a look at it. Wow, it is looking nice. Let's get this wrapped up and put it back on the smoker. Now this side was closer to the firebox, and this measures about 170 degrees on this side, and this side was the farthest away and was about 160. So that seems like a good compromise. Let's get some tin foil over here. And get this wrapped up. And I'm going to double wrap this. being careful not to put any holes in the tin foil. So that's going to go back out onto the smoker. I'm going to load it up with some more charcoal, and we're going to continue to cook this pork butt till it's done. Well, our smoked pork butt has been resting for 3 hours. I had this whole thing covered with a couple beach towels to try to keep the heat in. Let it finish its cooking. Well, let's unwrap it and see how it turned out. Smells pretty nice. And there it is. I'm going to move this to another pan so you can get a better look at it here. Lots of nice juice in there. And there is what it looks like. Looks nice. Well, that looks nice. Now, I'm going to try to make pulled pork sandwiches out of this. Let's see how tender it is. Ah, it pulls right apart. Well, without a doubt, this is my most successful pork butt when it comes to tenderness. Now let's see the if it's done right, this bone is supposed to pull right out of here. Let's see if that will come right out. Oh yeah. The bone comes out and it comes out clean. Ha! A success. Well, let's get the rest of this shredded up. And then give it a try. So there we have it all shredded up, and I put some of that juice here in with the in the pork. So I got a bun. Let's put some on the bun and see what it tastes like. I could shred it up a little bit better, I think, but all right. Now you could put some of your favorite barbecue sauce on this, but I sort of prefer it without. Let's take a bite. Mmm. Without a doubt, the best pulled pork I've ever made. So in total, this smoked for 7 hours and then I wrapped it in foil and left it in the smoker for another 5 hours, and then it's been setting here wrapped in beach towels for another 3 hours. So it's quite a long process, but it turns out just wonderful. The secret seems to be the longer you leave it in the smoker, the better it gets. So I took it out when the internal temperature reached about 205 degrees, and it just seems to be perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it that thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.